guitars, yo-yos, and small engine repair. He is the biggest fan in the world of Briggs and Stratton small engines. He is also an excellent impersonator. This morning, Bo is going to talk with us about growing up and growing strong, living with a disability. Help me give a warm welcome to Bo Goldsby.
Got it. I think. Can you guys hear me now? It is just so wonderful to be upstage doing this for you guys. I had no idea that I was going to be a keynote speaker for you guys, so I am here and I am very surprised that I got to do this today. So thank you, Allison, and everybody for hooking this up. It's really awesome of you guys. Thanks. Hello, my name is Bo Goldsby. First, I would like to thank you for coming to hear my story. And I would like to thank the Colorado Department of Education and Allison, because she rocks so much. For inviting me to speak to you today. Now I want to know if you guys are pumped up or what. Through my story, you will hear some of the ups and downs that I've had as a person with a disability. Through my 25 years of life with a person with through my story, you'll hear the ups and downs that person as a person with a disability. Through my 25 years of life, I've discovered some tips that I will share with you for helping your children and your students succeed. So let's get started. I have a rare genetic disorder called Williams syndrome. I am 1 out of 10,000 people that have this disorder. I am very social and musically inclined. I do have some learning disabilities and medical issues, and I become depressed. I was 8 years old when I was diagnosed with Williams syndrome. I had no idea that I had Williams syndrome until I was 8 years old, and my mom told me, and I was just like, okay, since I have Williams syndrome, what am I going to be able, what are the combinations I might be able to do? Well, I picked up the guitar and learned how to play. And so I play it lap style to everybody. What I do is I basically put my guitar in my lap and I play it with my hand like this. My stepmom Barb was working with a high school student who had very similar interests and obsessions, as I did. He also looked a lot like me. His teacher said that he had Williams syndrome. My stepmom, a special education teacher, had never heard of Williams syndrome. So she started researching. She went to a national conference, and when she walked in the main room and saw about 500 people from babies to adults, guess what her jaw did? It went like this. They all look like me. She gathered as much information as she could and shared it with my mom. And my mom had to educate my daughter on what Williams syndrome basically was. Because my doctor never heard of it. And it's sad and it's just sad that he never heard of that. People with Williams syndrome have similar physical characteristics. Staring eyes, coarse hair, upturned nose, pouty lips. We also have a similar medical condition like high blood pressure and heart problems. Let me tell you what gets me so darn excited about this. I no longer have high blood pressure. I've lost 50 pounds. School was hard for me. I didn't learn to read much until I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. Handwriting is still difficult and I struggle with math. The reason why my handwriting is so hard is because I have really bad tremors and they don't go away. And it's just really, sometimes it's frustrating when you're trying to do your homework and you're writing it down and it looks all not good, you know, and you're like, darn it, I gotta do this over again. So, I just don't like having tremors. You know, it's not fun. I still I love fixing motors. Who doesn't? And guess what? I have my own small engine repair shop in my garage. You guys want to know what it's called? Yes! Well, small engine repair. I like doing voices like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hello, everybody. I'm going. Put your glasses down. Put your drinks down. Because it's time to listen to Arnold. Put that cookie down. Now. But when we pulled the moose,
ladies and gentlemen, when we pulled the moose, now let me tell you a story about this guy that I know. His name is Bo. He's really cool.
And my most favorite is two to do, so I'm going to do this one. Beavis and Butthead! Alright, so it goes like this. Hello, this is Beavis and Butthead. Make sure to come see us on the stage with Bo. He's a cool dude. Cool. Fire! Fire! Next is the Family Guy. And it goes like this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Griffin. How's it going? Wait a second, Peter. You forgot Mr. Glenn Blackburn. What are all these cool people doing here at Bo's show? Well, to tell you on the truth, Quagmire, Bo is performing on stage, and he is a keynote speaker, and he's up here to do what he does best, is public speaking. That's how we do it, all right? All right? Yes. All right, go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name's Stewie from Family Guy. Now, you have to deal with me.
I play the guitar, and let me tell you phenomenal time of my life because I've met some really, 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 really cool people in my life because I play guitar. One of them was the Blue Man Group. 2 times, by the way. And also, I've hung out with the band Conquer Avarice. They're a band locally here in Colorado, and my best friend plays the guitar for that band, and I always go hang out with them. Sometimes it's really enjoyable. I play my guitar and one heck of a yo-yoer. I've done my voices and yo-yo tricks at many places. I didn't eat very much when I was little, and my doctor told my parents to let me eat anything I would, even if it wasn't good for me. I loved M&M's, so guess what? My stepmom taught me my colors by sorting them and eating them. By sorting them and eating them. Let me tell you guys what my favorite M&M's are. My favorite M&M's of all is the peanut butter kind, because they go good in the fridge, I will tell you that. So those are my favorite M&M's of all time. I wasn't a very good reader, but I loved the computer. So once again, my parents took something that I enjoyed and used it to motivate me to read. I would want to look something up on the computer and they would make me sound it out to search for it. There's a kind of funny story there. I had a fascination with tornado sirens. I will tell you guys why I have a fascination with tornado sirens and why I like them. I like tornado sirens because they're huge, they're loud, and they warn the public. So my stepmom had me sound out the word sirens, which I did, and guess what I found? Did you know that the word siren has more than one meaning? Did you know that when you look up siren on the internet, you'll get sites about hot girls? It's true. It's true. Come on, it's true. It's true. There's nothing wrong with that. I started attending my IEP meetings when I was 7 years old. Boy, were they boring! But I remember my teacher and my mom asking me what I liked about school and what was hard. I guess that's when I started advocating for myself. Yeah. Okay, break for a second. I attended every meeting the teacher scheduled, and I learned to speak for myself and let everyone know what I wanted and what I needed. What I needed and wanted. As an adult, I attend individual planning meetings, and guess what? Boring. They're still boring. I do understand the importance of what I need to work on, but I become mad when others talk about me like I'm not there. I just had a PATH meeting about a month ago, and my whole family was there. We talked about my dreams and my passion and made my timeline of when I would reach my goals. Well, guess what? I already reached one of my goals, and I'm right here. One of my goals is to speak across the country. Barb is helping me with that now, and hopefully we get to go to Iowa soon. Not Iowa. Another one of my goals is to really get my small engine shop office goal because I have business cards and my mom is working on my supported living services coordinator to get a grant for startup costs. High school was hard and I had to deal with a lot of bullies. I was called the R word and would get so mad. I found a group of friends that liked me for who I was. And they stuck up for me along with some of my teachers. And they would rally all around me and help me stick up for myself when I was being picked on. I convinced my teacher in high school to let me take drama and unmechanics. I love drama. It was so much fun. Auto mechanics, it was boring. Not so much. What I thought was going to be working on engines ended up being nothing but book work. It made me sad because I love engines so much and I'm a diehard Briggs and Stratton fan. I spent some of my time in special ed classes, like reading and math, and I spent some of my time in regular classes. Sometimes I would need a teacher's aide to help me, but other times I was fine by myself, because I had confidence in myself. I had some jobs when I was in high school in a transition program. The jobs helped me figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. My favorite job of all was at Swell Hill Event Center and music school. I had the coolest boss in the whole world when I was working. His name was Jeff. And his voice sounds like this. So you have to understand it. So I learned how I became best friends with my boss when I was working there because he knew what was right up my alley. And he knew specifically what I wanted to do. Not what he wanted to do, what I wanted to do. So he hired me to restring guitars, he hired me to set up cafes, get ready for the concerts. I set up a lot of stuff for those guys. And let me tell you what, it was my dream job because I literally thought that I was going to get my dream job and be able to stay there. Do you ever have that feeling where you just know the job's right? You just know the job's right and you want to stay there. But then it turns out that my money that they were paying me ran out, so I got let go. And it was the hardest thing of my life. It really was because I am hugely honored to be talking about Swell Hill because they deserve it more than anybody on the planet. That was a very sad day for me. It really was. I still miss it a lot. My boss from Swell Hill wrote a story about me and it was published. Literally published, really. In a magazine called, okay, you guys can clap, I don't care. It was published in a magazine called Heart to Heart. That was pretty cool. In the transition program, I learned to ride the RT and white rail, and I would also use both to get to work and to transfer 2 times to get from work to home. So it was very long days. I haven't ridden the bus now for a while because I had some problems with some other riders. But I want to try it again. I deserve it.
Yeah.
I deserve it. But I want to try again. I want to try it again. I need to learn some strategies so people won't approach me and put me in awkward